Here at noon, we are learning more details about a second deadly shooting in Minnesota involving federal agents, what local lawmakers have to say.
And after a very sunny weekend, the clouds are starting to roll back in as a few cold mornings will precede a warmer forecast.
And to increase road safety, the city of Spokane considers changing up a 4-lane roadway. How this could impact your future commute. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here on KREM 2 News at noon. I'm Laura Papetti. Let's talk about the weather. Head right outside. That's where Thomas Patrick is standing by. Boy, Thomas, we have it so much easier than most of the country right now.
Oh, my goodness. Isn't that true, Laura? Yeah, the significant snow and ice storm that started back on Friday basically just concluded over New England. I saw snow reports close to 24 inches. It was like 23 inches in like central Pennsylvania and 22 inches in upstate New York. My friends in Long Island did send me some really cool videos, and you can see that on my social media feeds right now. But as we bring things back to the Northwest, well, things were sunny this weekend. Actually, a little bit more cloudy right now, but still feeling like same old temperature-wise. Cool in the mornings, still in the mid-20s right now as we cross past noon. I think we'll just get up to 30 degrees today. The clouds are not as thick as they were most of last week when we were really stuck with that temperature inversion and low cloud cover. I would say this is more mid-level cloud cover. In fact, if I peek behind me, I can see the sunshine actually just barely cutting through some of the clouds, so maybe a filtered sunshine. Yeah, you see it directly overhead. I would not be surprised if like the occasional snowflake is trying to get spat out, but I don't think our clouds are really close enough to the ground for us to properly get any precipitation. So our high temperatures low to mid 30s for most of the region today. Feels like same old. However, this week really does feel like a brand new week, and a brand new week of weather as well, since the trend goes way above average at the very end of the month and for the beginning of February. So coming up, I'll show you the temperature trend, how close to 50 degrees we may already be forecasting for.
All right, Thomas, thank you. Here's a live look at Washington, D.C. right now. There is a new order out of the White House. President Donald Trump is sending border czar Tom Homan to Minnesota. The president posted on Truth Social saying, "Tom is tough but fair and will report directly to me." This is the latest development in Minneapolis after federal agents shot and killed an ICU nurse named Alex Preddy. Now, Preddy is the second Minneapolis resident federal officers have killed this month. And here's what we have learned about the victim so far. Preddy was 37 years old, an ICU nurse and a U.S. citizen. The Department of Homeland Security says agents were conducting a targeted operation against an undocumented immigrant, quote, wanted for violent assault. They say this is when another person, quote, approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. However, some are sharing video that contradicts what DHS has to say.
This is an inflection point, America. If we cannot all agree that the smearing of an American citizen and besmirching everything they stood for and asking us not to believe what we saw, I don't know what else to tell you.
Cell phone video capturing the situation. Preddy was holding his cell phone before several officers tackled him while his gun was holstered. Records show Preddy was a lawful gun owner with a permit to carry a handgun in Minnesota. The video then shows officers removing Preddy's gun from his holster before agents shot and killed him. There have been more protests across the country because of this latest shooting. Take a look at some video. This is out of Seattle. Protesters were downtown holding signs asking for ICE to be abolished. And in Boise, people gathered outside City Hall asking for accountability. Across the U.S., protesters were asking for the Trump administration to remove ICE from Minnesota. Washington's lawmakers have been reacting to the news coming out of Minnesota. Congressman Michael Baumgartner posting on X over the weekend, saying in part that he is, quote, disturbed by what he has seen, adding that it's important that the American people and Congress be given better understanding of how immigration enforcement is being handled. Across the aisle, Senator Maria Cantwell also weighing in, stating, quote, President Trump has crossed the line. Americans will not stand for masked armed troops roaming their neighborhoods, end of quote. She went on to say ICE should not be on the streets and the shooting should be investigated. It is 5 minutes past noon right now. We are getting an update from Spokane today. The shelter says all the dogs that have been sick are, quote, doing extremely well and they are doing adoptions starting today. Spokane has been dealing with a respiratory sickness since Christmas. They are still not sure what caused the sickness. The shelter says all the dogs are eating, and they hope to spay and neuter those dogs that were sick in the next month and then hopefully get them adopted. But they are scheduled to start adoptions today for the other animals. All right, some big changes could be coming to a busy road on Spokane South Hill. That's where KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones reports that the city will have a meeting this week to talk about the potential project.
Well, those changes could be taking place right here on Grand Boulevard between 14th and 29th. And you can see that sign right here behind me that's inviting the public out to a public meeting that's going to be tomorrow night to discuss these potential changes. We'll talk about that here in just a few moments. But the city says they've identified two possible options to increase safety on the road. On your screen, you'll see two different renderings, starting with option one. Option one would reduce Grand Boulevard down to 3 lanes, 1 lane each direction and 1 center turn lane. The city of Spokane says the current format of 4 lanes with 2 in each direction presents 2 main issues. 1, difficulties for pedestrians and cyclists crossing the road, and 2, the risk of rear end collisions for vehicles turning left off of Grand Boulevard. Reducing to 3 lanes could provide the most safety benefits according to the city. Option 2 would maintain the 4 lanes on Grand and reconfigure one of the existing northbound lanes into a center turn lane. Officials say option 1 would be expected to decrease crashes by 24%. Option 2 expected to decrease crashes by 19%. Now, with this potential restriping project in consideration, the city will host a public meeting tomorrow night. That's Tuesday, January 27th at 5:30 p.m. at the St. Mark's Lutheran Church. Of course, that church located right here on Grand Boulevard as well. About that meeting, you can find more details on KREM.com. For now, reporting here in Spokane, South Hill, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
All right, well, we have a list of names of who will be performing in a brand new music festival coming up this year. Let's take a look at those. AWOL Nation, Macklemore, very popular, AJR, and more will be in Spokane on July 11th. This one-day festival will feature 20 musical acts across 4 stages, showcasing prominent artists and several regional bands.